Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of TCG Talk. Wow. Back today with another video and a fun and new deck tech that we're going to be looking at today with specifically the hero Benji. Now, Everfest spoilers are not over yet, obviously. There's still hopefully a couple new extra toys to come out, but some of the ninja cards and even generic cards that have been shown, if you were watching my last video, really lend well to Benji. And I think that Benji is going to start being a pretty viable hero in Blitz. Maybe not this crazy S tier unbeatable hero, still going to have a lot of trouble with Oldheim. However, I think Benji will be really fun to play. And honestly, I would put Benji probably in A tier. I'm going to make a Blitz deck tech or Blitz tier list here soon. But I'm going to get into what just initial fun deck tech that I think will be good for Benji. And let me know what y'all think about it. Again, this isn't like final build. Still got to mess with it around a little bit. But I think it'll be really fun to play with and watch. So Benji, for anyone's not aware, attack action cards you control that have 2 or less base power cannot be defended by the enemy hero from cards from hand. So it has to be either from arsenal, out of a defense reaction, or equipment, basically. And then when an attack action card you control hits, the next attack that turn period, whether it's a weapon or an attack action, gains +1 power. So for his equipment setup, what I'm doing is the Kodachis. I personally don't like Needle. I think it's a little bit fragile, and it no pun intended, and it's just kind of inconsistent in some points. I just like running the Kodachis and be able to Kodachi and move myself around. For the arm piece, I'm using breaking skills. If you run a more kind of aggro, kind of top heavy Benji list, which some people run like the 50-50 split on 2 powers and then high arching attacks, you can run Goliath Gauntlet, I feel like. This is also where you put your Null Rune, right? If you need to put it in against the Kano matchup. For the boots, I'm using Breeze Rider boots. Snapdragon Scalers are definitely viable, right? But I would personally use Breeze Rider boots. I think they're better. A lot of the combo cards you have in here are combo based, like Break Tide, Spring Tidings, Crane Dance, Fluster Fist, all the 100 Wind cards, right? All those are combo cards. And I think the fact that if those getting go again is more important than giving something go again with Snapdragon Scalers, because all of your non-combo cards in this deck specifically, with the exception of Flying Kick, either have go again or conditional go again. So it's not as much needed to use Snapdragon Scalers. For the headpiece, this is going to be where the biggest kind of decision point is now with Benji. We have 2 headpieces now that are viable. Obviously, Mask of Momentum is great, really good for card draw. But we're going to be getting another headpiece, the Mask of Pouncing Lynx. When an attack action card you control hits, you may destroy Mask of the Pouncing Lynx. If you do, search your deck for an attack action card with 2 or less, banish it, then shuffle. You may play it this turn. What this is good for is when one of your low power attacks hits, you're able, and it's not just the first time, it's whenever an attack action control hits during your turn, you may destroy it, and you can go search for something. Ideally, what you're going to be wanting to search for is Spring Tidings, which is one of Benji's new specializations, which says when Spring Titan hits, draw a card for each other attack action card with power 2 or less base you control on the combat chain. So let's say you've attacked, this is a perfect turn, right? You've attacked with 100 Winds blue from hand, that's, hitting for 1, then you or a yellow, sorry, for 2, then you attack with the blue, which is also 2. So you've hit for 4 now. Let's say that hits. And then let's say you all of a sudden play a Break Tide, right, for 2, and that hits. Now it's 3. You pop Breeze Rider Boots so it gets go again, and then all of a sudden you destroy Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, and you go get your Spring Tidings, and then that gets played at 2, and for some reason, if your opponent doesn't have the armor to block it, and that hits, now you're going to deal 2 more damage. So that's now 8 total damage that you've dealt this turn. And what's going to happen is you're going to draw 3 cards because you have 3 cards on the chain that have 2 or less power on them. So you just played 4 cards, and now you drew an additional 3 cards. Really useful for that, right? And if, as you can notice on this list, like every card in this deck, with the exception of Flying Kick and Torrent Tempo and Razor Reflex, are 0 cost. So you're gonna be able to play 4 and 5 card hands very easily without having to pitch, unless you're using Kodachis. You can go back to the Kodachi method if you need to, but that's where that mask is gonna be really useful. So I think Mask of Momentum is gonna give you more consistency with how you're drawing cards. However, the Mask of Pouncing Lynx will allow you to really pop off with that Spring Tidings play. You're basically looking for that pivot turn. And the good thing about this deck, if you're subbing out Mask of Momentum, is you can use other cards to get draw effects. So Mask of Pouncing Lynx obviously will help you draw cards. And Ancestral Empowerment twice will help you draw cards. Even Bigger Than That, which is another generic instant that I put in here, basically allows you to opt 3, reveal a top card to your deck. If it has base power greater than the amount of damage you've dealt this turn, create a Quicken token and draw a card. So basically, if you Kodachi, then you play Even Bigger Than, and they don't block it. Then you play Even Bigger Than That. Basically, you just have to find a card out of your top 3 that has over 1 base power, maybe 2 or more, and then you get to create a Quicken token and draw that card, basically. So you'll get card draw from this. You'll get card draw from Ancestral Empowerment, right? You can get card draw from Spring Tidings, all of these. So it's really useful for that. And it just allows you to draw cards in other ways. So that's what I'm using. For the chess piece right now, I have Vest of the First Fist. This honestly, because it's subbed out, I just like that I'll be able to play Flying Kick for free. If I play an attack before Flying Kick, Kodachi attack, and then that attack hits like a 2 cost power, then all of a sudden I play Flying Kick, and it'll be for technically 8 with Benji's ability once you pop Vest. And it doesn't close the chain like Heart and Cross Strap does. You also can use Tunic if you have it. It's definitely more inviolable. And then for cards, I'm running Razor Reflex and Ancestral Empowerment, really good attack action cards that one can help you draw, and then one's going to help you not on your Kodachis, but on your regular attacks as well, 1 or less. Basically every attack in this deck except for Flying Kick. Enlightened Strike, just a solid, great card. I put the Flick Flags and Sigil Solace in here to get a little bit of block for Benji. I'm not running like a control Benji style, but I do want to be able to help myself out if I absolutely need to block something out. And the Flick Flags will help me be able to add basically all of these attacks to have the word combo in them, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14 of my attacks will be able to block for 5, right? Or 4 with 100 wins. So it's really useful for that. I put in Flying Kick and Torrent Tempo. You could change your style of how you play Benji. Some people are putting a lot of Crane Dances and Flood of Forces in. I just like these cards because I like the fact that I can come in with 2 low attacks, hit you for 4 or 6 unblocked, and then all of a sudden come in for 5 to 8. And now you just took 4 to 6 damage in one turn, right? And now you're about to take another 8. So it's going to be really hard for people to hold their hand, right? Like if I 100 wins yellow and 100 wins blue, it's going to be 2 and 2. That's 4. I haven't used any resources yet. Then maybe I play an Even Bigger Than That or something like that, right? To maybe I've dealt 6 to 8 damage, draw a card, and now I'm going to play Flying Kick at the very end of my chain for 7. It's just really useful for that. So I really like these 2 cards in the deck. 100 Wins is one of the new cards too. It's really good. It has automatic go again. Basically, the way to think about this card is it buffs itself because it combos off its own self. So if you play a blue 100 wins for 1, your yellow 100 wins will then hit for technically 3 because it's +1 from 100 wins effects because yellow comes in for 2. And then Benji's ability will come in for 4, but they all have go again. So it's basically head jab with an added bonus if you can combo them together. But it has go again, which is nice. I run the yellow and blue head jabs, really good, obviously, with Benji. They're unblockable for the most part. Lunging Press is really good to get over that break point. I really like Lunging Press because, one, you can pitch it for Kodachis if you need to, but you can also use it if they're trying to block you with armor, right? So like if you play Spring Tidings for 2 after you've played 3 or 4 combo cards, 2 or less power, and then they're like, okay, now I'm going to use my armor on you to block Spring Tidings out. They block armor for 2 instead of 3 because most armor is only going to block for 2 with the exception of a couple of, unless they block multiple armor pieces. You can Lunging Press to make it 3 power, and then unless they have a D-React, then you're pretty much set for Spring Tidings to pop off, so it's really useful for that. Break Tide I put in here just because it's a 2 attack power combo card, so it's going to help block off the Flick Flax. It doesn't really combo with anything in this deck. If you put Flood Force and Rushing River, then it would work really well. You get that 5 Dominate, which is why some people are subbing these out for the Flood of Force and Rushing Rivers. However, I can't search for this, which really sucks. The only way you can kind of search for it is if you use the Mask of Pounding Links, which you could attack with a Rushing River or a Flood of Force, give it go again with Breeze Rider Boots, then pop your Mask and go get Break Tide, which will be 5 Dominate. So that's a really good thing too. I am going to experiment with more Crane Dances and Flood of Force as time goes on. But even in this build, it's a 2 cost attack that can't be blocked from hand. And if you have pop Breeze Rider Boots, then it's going to have to go again anyway. And it'll block for 5 with Flick Flag. So it's really good overall. Scar for Scar, a lot of times, especially early game, you're going to be down a few life with Benji. So it's really good. It's going to pretty much have automatic go again. And it is a 2 cost attack. Flush Fist, same thing. Blocks for 3, pitch blue. It's good also to attack with if you pop Breeze Rider Boots. Soul Bead Strike, again, unless they block with armor, this is pretty much automatically going to have go again. And then Crane Dance can combo off of this Soul Bead Strike as well if needed. It'll get 2. And so if you got these 2 in the same hand, then this will have 2 or 3 with go again, depending on when you played it with Benji's ability. But overall, this is a good initial list. I would probably have a full Null Rune suite in the, because Kano's going to be more popular even now because he's got a couple toys. So you're going to want to have a full Null Rune suite. I don't have it in here because I'll put it in here. By the time you look at the link down below for the deck list, I will have full Null Rune suite in there. Again, you can run Mask over Pouncing Links. You run Momentum over that. That's fine. You can run Tunic over Vest to the First Fist. There's definitely a lot of cool things about Benji that's just going to be awesome to see. And I'm super excited to watch where he goes. At the very least, he's going to be viable now. And it's going to be a fun deck to play, I think. One of the more fun Blitz decks to play. But let me know what you think about Benji. Let me know what you think about the Ninja class as a whole. I still think Benji's going to have a horrible time with Oldheim, obviously, like most people. But especially him, because a Crown of Seeds and Shield can block out an attack, right? So it's a little bit rough on that. You might have to go a little taller if you know you have a Oldheim heavy meta with Benji. But then at the same time, why not just play Ira at that point? But yeah, Ira's going to be really good as well. I might do an Ira deck tech here soon. I'm really excited to be back playing Ninja again. Even if it's not the best deck in the world, still, it's a good, solid deck, and it's got a lot of cool new toys. But yeah, let me know what you think of the deck. Let me know what you would add and take away. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to. If not me, go to another Flesh and Blood creator, do the same thing for them so we can get more people seeing this game. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.